All right. Hello, everyone. I'm back. Everyone's like, wait, she was just in that shirt like 2 hours ago. So we were on here live with Allison Lewis a little bit earlier, and we have a special treat because now we have Eve Kyle here. And Eve is also one of the experts that is in the summit next Monday and Tuesday, July 12th and 13th. The link is below. Be sure you guys click the link. It's free. And this is going to be a compilation of 11 authors that we have in the book, Step into the Spotlight to Expand Your Influence and Attract More Customers. And then I just did something really cool that I'll tell everyone. We kind of like marked off more and put the right customers, because you want to attract the right people, not the tire kickers. You want to attract the right clients that really want to work with you, right? I mean, that's the goal of this. We want to attract the people that want to work with us, that need to work with us. And that's exactly what Eve does. And I love her take on empowering women. It's just incredible. So, Eve, talk to us a little bit about character strengths and why that is such an important part for us as leaders.
Yes, thank you. Thank you, Colleen, for having me. Yes, like my coaching practice is absolutely based on, like our own discovering our own strengths, right? Because I believe like we're all born with our strengths, but the thing is, if we are able to discover them and utilize them and maximize them, right? So character strengths, means like it has 24 strengths. Everybody, and so we can discover our top 5 signature strengths, right? So once you discover that, and then you'll feel empowered. It's like your toolbox, right? Like once you have a problem, okay, what I have, like what my strengths are, and so how I can focus on the solutions instead of problems, right? You feel like you are just, like you're more resourceful.
Yeah. Yeah,
Yeah.
I feel like too many of us, especially when we're new entrepreneurs, when we start our businesses, we're just kind of reaching at everything, right? And we're trying to figure out how to do everything really, really well. And
Right.
there's things that we're going to areas we're going to struggle in. Maybe it'll take us longer to do it, and maybe that isn't a character strength of ours. Like for me,
Exactly.
I built my business around community, because bringing people together as a community is something I have had a very high strength in from way back in the day when I was a child, when I had friends, when I was married, I would bring family together. So that's a character strength of mine. So why not build a business around that strength? And do you find that maybe some entrepreneurs are stuck because they're not clear enough in their business or building the right businesses because they don't know what their signature strengths are?
Yes, absolutely. It's like especially when we start something, anything new, we have lots of self-doubt, right? And the reason I have self-doubt is because we're not clear what we are great at, right? And then we just kind of focus on what we like focus on the problems. And but if we discover our strength, then we'll know, okay, for example, like you're a connector, obviously, right? So like you are great at creating community, right? So you're on the right path, and that's why you're successful. So, but if people focus on the things that they're not good at, they will just feel frustrated and find themselves like struggling the whole time. But if you figure out, okay, for example, some like for me, like I'm a very creative person, and also like my honesty is absolutely my top strength, and that's why I found myself empowered when I empower other people to speak up, to speak up their mind, to show up, to step up, and um, like just to show who they truly are, because that's what honesty is about, right? And what I found interesting is that when I work with my clients who come to me, who want me to help them, they all have, one of their signature strengths is honesty. It's interesting because, like deep down, like they want to speak up, they want to be who they truly are, but somehow, like they were held back because most time it's because they were listening to the wrong voice. And that's what what I was writing in my chapter about. What voice are you really listening to, right? Like, do you mute the voice which doesn't speak to you, and do you turn up the voice which speaks to you and make you who you truly are? So like, so the honesty, once you realize, oh gosh, like honesty is my strength, And that's why I have to speak up. And that's why I have to be who I truly am. Otherwise, there's no way I can be happy, right? So once you figure it out, it's like it comes like subconsciously you remind yourself that, okay, I have to be who, I have to be who I truly am. It's not like I have to listen and be who I'm told to be, right? Because that's the thing, sometimes we are like stuck in the version of ourselves which are not our true selves, right? Do you think so? Like, because that's just like we have been told, people, like, and yesterday I had an interview with Julia. We talked about a little bit. It's like our brain is hardwired to listen to the negative voice, right? When people say you are not great, you're gonna believe that, right? Yeah. But when people say you are great, and you're like, you just brush it off, they move on, right? So like my whole chapter is just about recognize your own strengths and believe yourselves and listen to the voice that speaks to you, really lift you up.
Yeah, we're all going to have challenges as entrepreneurs. We're all going to run into issues where someone else is telling you, think of any female watching right now. Think of when you had your first baby.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
Everybody on earth had their opinion on how you should give birth, and they all wanted to share all their birthing stories and what you should do, and don't let the nurses do that, and make sure the doctor does. Everyone remember that, okay?
Right.
That is how people want to surround you when you're an entrepreneur. So when you come out as an entrepreneur and you're like, hey, I want to build this business, like, do this, do that, don't do this, don't do that. You've got to quiet that at some point. And that's why I love how each one of the experts that we've been bringing forward in this spotlight, in this summit, and in the book really help you quiet what's going on outside and help you focus. And this is, to me, one of the fundamental pieces, Eve. Yours and Carrie Conley's is another one, and I'm interviewing her later because hers is all about vision. If you don't have a vision and goals, and then you don't even know who you are, right? You don't even know who you are. You want to find out who you are, become an entrepreneur. Let me tell you that right now, because I think I shed a whole layer of Colleen when I went from corporate to entrepreneurship, because I became a different person, because I really leaned into being free to express all my strengths, and they weren't being stumped or snuffed out by corporate world, right? Kind of that. You know what I'm talking about? A bad relationship can snuff out those beautiful strengths that you have, and other people can bad friends in your life can snuff those out. People along the way that are going to do you wrong as an entrepreneur and take your money, but not really assist you in what they said. This is someone who is going to snuff out, those. So you've got to rise above that. And the only way to do that is to know what your core signature strengths are. So that's what you lean on.
Yes, absolutely. Journey. Yeah, exactly. I think we all have like tremendous potential, right? So, and like, how can we possibly like maximize our potential? And that's the secret to succeed, right? And oftentimes, like, if we don't find our own strengths, and we cannot maximize our strengths, and it just make the whole journey to succeed like much more difficult, right? And you'll find yourself like more frustrated instead of like everything just like fall into place, right? So like another thing for character strengths is that really I think a lot of entrepreneurs, when they start to do business, like they are kind of standing on the coaching niche. I'm saying, like, for example, if you're a coach, right, for the niche, like, what do you really want to coach? What is your specialty? People just like, it can be like for years, they're like, I think I can do this because my brain tells me I can do this, but this is your passion? It's really your strength? Probably not, right? And then, so like, when you do that, first of all, you may not be successful, and secondly, you won't be happy, right? So like, that's why you have to find your own strength, and then you'll be successful, and then everything will come into place so easily, and you will find like your career, your career, like your passion. And it just like, and just now you mentioned like the, people who can lift you up, right? Like, and also like people and relationship and can make you just, turn into somebody like who you cannot even recognize. And that is absolutely true. And that's my thing I mentioned in my chapter too. Like, you have to find your people, find out people, find your own power, and find out, because when you find out people, these people can actually, they can help you to recognize your own strengths, right? If everybody says, oh, Colleen, I just love, like you always organize all these events, everything, I just love what you do, I think you're a great organizer, a great, connector, that will make you think, oh, really? I think that's something I'm great at, right? Then you can, it's just like, so we have to find our people. But if we're with somebody, with people who tell us like, well, we're not great at, and then we start to really just think less about ourselves, and that's what we don't want to do, right? And that's why, we always want to find our community, find our people.
I remember that happened to me. I had someone walk into a room, and I was leading a leadership class in my community, and it wasn't until after a couple classes, and he walked up to me, he's like, when I first met you, you were kind of loud and you had a lot of energy, and I was thinking like, I don't know if that's right for me. And I was like, hey, I'm not for everyone. I wasn't going to apologize to him. I just said, hey,
yes.
I'm not right for everyone. That's who I am. You're going to get this every single time I see you. I think I rubbed off on him, and now he really likes me, and we're really good friends, and our families are good friends. But, it's interesting because they kind of judge that book by its cover right away. And I was not going to conform to be someone that he was looking for. I'm me. Right.
Yes.
And so the only way we can know who we are as entrepreneurs, Eve, and I'm glad you brought that up, is we got to look inside. You have to own your power. So what is your superpower? We each have something that's a combination. So what are those signature strengths of yours that's your combination that makes you that superpower? What is it? Because that's what makes you stand out.
Yes.
That's what impresses other people. That's what makes people remember you, so you become memorable. So this summit just isn't about, maximizing your money from, your message from stage. This summit is about, you've got to look within too. And these are all the steps that you need to take to be a successful entrepreneur, to expand your influence, not only in your own family, but for yourself. Sometimes we have to convince ourselves how great we are.
Exactly.
That's hard.
That is hard. That is hard. I heard this a lot from my clients. It's interesting. Like, most of the time they will say things like this. They will say, oh gosh, like my boyfriend or my husband, like they just, keep telling me like I'm amazing, like amazing. And they say, I wish you could see how I see you. So, I mean, that's the thing, like, either other people see the greatest thing in you and you don't see that, right? Or you are great, but other people say you are not. And then you believe that, right? So like, how about we just switch that? How about we switch that, right? I mean, it takes efforts, definitely takes efforts, takes practice, but it's definitely worth it, right? Be the best version of yourself, right? And live the best life that you deserve, right? So, just now mentioned like the combination of the character strengths. I'm just taking, myself as example, like my signature strength, for example, like perspective is one of them, right? And that's why, like, my husband's like 7 years older than me, but he always tells me that like I'm so wise, because perspective is my number one strength, right? So I always like put things into perspective and then see big picture, right? So like, to me, it's always like everything will work out, everything happens for a reason. Like eventually it always work out to for the best for us, right? I always believe that. And also creativity is one of my strengths, right? So that means when I work with my clients, and I'm not gonna stuck on one thing, I will really like bring out like more perspectives and more solutions. And I'm not gonna choose that for them. And that's one thing about coaching, is that I'm gonna lead them to their inner world, and they're gonna explore that. They're gonna, oh, okay, these are the options. That one speaks to me, and that's what I want to do, right? So I will be able to do that because of my creativity. And also honesty, just to mention that honesty. And that's why I got my coaching niche, which is, empower women to be who they truly are, right? To be honest to themselves. So, and also love is my number, the fourth one. So, like when so that means like I will always provide them like compassionate and a safe space, right? So they feel like they can trust me and they can share. The connection is number one thing, right? When you have a relationship, they have to be connected with you.
Yeah.
They have to trust you so they can share, their inner world with you. So
yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, gosh, Eve, your character strengths are amazing. And for all of you that are thinking, well, I don't know what my character strengths are, I've never done this test. I know
Oh,
Eve has some free giveaways that she's giving.
yes.
Don't tell them on Monday and Tuesday. So you guys have to come to the summit. You register below. It's free. All you have to do is register. They're live Monday and Tuesday, the 12th and 13th. Eve's got some free giveaways to give away, some connections for you to connect with her. This is someone who gives great perspective to her clients, is going to give you great perspective and support in the book chapter that she wrote. And her interview is just amazing that we did as well on the summit. So you've got to come to get her free gifts, learn more about Eve and how she supports her clients and how she can help you find your character strengths through a lot of her free giveaways. So Eve, thank you for being with us today. I
Thank you
love
so much,
you. I
Colleen.
think you're amazing. Thank you so much for everything that you do to empower women, because it is so important that they have that they find that voice for them and that they can use that voice for whatever it is that they need. So thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Colleen. Thank you. This is absolutely my mission and my passion to empower women to be the best version of themselves. Thank you.
We're on the same path.
Absolutely.
All right, ladies, have a wonderful rest of your week. Don't forget to click below and join us at the summit. Step into the spotlight to expand your influence to attract the right customers on Monday and Tuesday. We'll see you then. Bye-bye now.
Thank
See
you.
ya.
Bye.